Hi everybody, just a quick video today on, well, some hints and tips on winning Warzone 2. In particular, we're looking at solo matches. Just bear in mind the fact that I've been incredibly busy so far this season. I haven't really been able to put that much time into Warzone 2, but maybe some of these things will get you on the right path to getting your first victories. Now, in the description below this video, you'll see a link to a beginner's guide to multiplayer in Modern Warfare 2, which obviously the Warzone 2 engine is based upon. So I highly recommend you have a look at that, especially when it comes to the settings you might want to think about using. Now, specifically for Warzone 2, what I think you're better off doing is dropping long and looting safe. So when the aeroplane goes over the top of the map, have a look at the map and then choose an area that's as far away from the flight path as possible, but probably still within the circle that doesn't have a name, so it won't attract other players. So fly long, open your chute early, keep an eye out for other people coming down, and then you can loot up without worrying about getting shot straight away. Because one of the disadvantages of early game fights is that this is the worst time in terms of performance for the server, the actual computer that the game is running on, because you've got up to 150 players running around. And it means that those early game fights can be very random indeed. And one of the things we know definitely about Warzone and Warzone 2 is that positioning is king. You know, the time to kill, even with plate carriers on, is very, very fast. So if you get yourself into a position where it's not a 50-50 gunfight, basically where you're hitting the other person first, you're giving yourself more of a chance to win. Now, as far as looting goes in the early game, what I like to aim to get are at least a 3-plate carrier, because the 3-plate carrier is going to mean that you can't get one shot by the snipers. It also means late game you're going to have a chance in those 50-50 gunfights where you're both firing at each other at the same time. The person with the 3-plate carrier is going to win, with all other things being equal. And remember, we now have the backpack, so not only can have your 3 plates in your carrier, I always like to have at least 9 total. So in the late game, if you get involved in a few firefights and you're losing your plates, you don't have to worry about stopping and looting enemies. You don't have to worry about stopping and going to buy station. You've already got enough plates to see you right through to the end. Similarly, you want to be looking for at least 1 gas mask, and if you can get another one, all the better, and stow that in your backpack. Because again, especially in solos in Warzone, it's all about moving late, and especially if there's like an area of open to cover and there's like buildings, the person who's normally last to move will be shooting everybody else who's moved first, and you can survive for quite a bit longer in the gas with the new gas masks, in the new gas mechanic in Warzone 2. So the ability to have a spare gas mask is really good. UAV, having one of those is very, very good. Late game, you can pop it, or at any point during the game where you're in a situation where you think, uh-oh, someone's around here, I need to know where they are, you can pop it up. And again, you can stow one in your backpack as well. Self-revives, you want to have those. Remember, you can visit buy stations to get those too, as well as finding them. Now, perks. Perks are a little bit tricky to get hold of in Warzone 2. You're going to have to hit a stronghold and clear it with AI to get it, or you're going to have to hit a loadout drop. Unfortunately, loadout drops come much later in the game, and they don't come directly to you like they did in Warzone 1. They could be on the other side of the map when they come in. So you've really got to decide whether it's worth travelling that distance to get your perks. Personally, I think if you're lucky enough to have a stronghold close to you, early game after about 4 minutes, it's probably worth thinking about going in. Just remember, there's a big chance you might get third-partied. And then late game, if a loadout happens to be near you, then of course go for it and get your loadout, and make sure at least you've got Ghost in your loadout, because it means that you'll stay off the mini-map for UAVs, and also if people have got heartbeat sensors as well. As far as tactics go, PUBG tactics seem to be working very well in Warzone 2. This is much more of a strategic game. So, try and come in on the quiet side. Look at the map and think, okay, where are the big names? Where are the big names where the cities are and the named areas? And try and avoid those. and try and play the edge. So come in late as the gas is coming and move virtually, with the gas to your back and just listen out. You'd be surprised how many times as you're moving along you'll think, I must be the last person here, and then you'll hear someone jump out of a building or crash through a window, and they're coming up behind you. A really good hint that someone's around as well is that if you're near a buy station and you hear UAV, then that means someone has literally just bought a UAV and have popped it because they want to know if anybody's around. And because there's so much money lying around, every time you come across a buy station, you can buy a UAV and pop it. Now, I don't recommend you do that, because buy stations are a great place to be for other people to ambush you, to overlook them from a building nearby. And for me, Warzone, whether that be Warzone 1, Warzone 2, or games like PUBG, it's all about playing the numbers. So don't sit down and think, right, I'm going to play a game of Warzone and I'm going to win, because especially if you're playing solos, the chances of that are pretty low. But if you think, actually, I'm going to play Warzone for the next hour, maybe I'm going to get 3, 4, maybe 5 games in, and my aim really is just to get to the top 10. And I think if you do that and you just play nice and safely, nice and strategically and tactically to get yourself to the top 10, over an hour or so, the chances that you get a really nice circle where the circles come to you goes up considerably. You'll of course have those circles where everything goes wrong, where you do everything right. You've got your 3-plate carrier, you've got a couple of gas masks, you've got a UAV, and then you're faced with an open area which is overlooked by buildings that you've got enemies in, and you get a sandwich and you get third parties and there's nothing you can do. But you will get that circle where maybe you're in a building, you're defending it, and the circle keeps coming to you and coming to you and coming to you. If you do die and go to the gulag, and at the moment of recording this video, the gulag is 2v2, one of the things that I like to do is follow the other person. So always try and be in a team of 2. That way, when you come across an enemy, if they've split up, it means you'll have that advantage of 2 on 1. So that maybe the enemy will shoot at your teammate, they'll get a couple of bullets in, they might die, but you can finish them off and you might be left with a 1-on-1. And then when it finally goes into the final circles, just rely on that, what I call circle luck. The fact that you've been playing for long enough, you may well get a final circle. Move late, have a look round, and remember that people rotate around the edges of the circle. So let's imagine there's a circle and you're on the edge of it. Say you're in a bush or in a building, or you're holding that. Don't look into the middle of the circle. People aren't going to be looking toward the outside towards you after a circle is set. They're going to be rotating around the edges. People spiral in. So look to the sides and look behind, and then you will catch people there. Anyway, that's enough from me. It's only a little guide because, as I say, I haven't had a chance to play that much of Warzone 2, but hopefully some of these hints and tips will have got you on your way and may even help you get that first victory. But if you have any other of your own hints and tips, please put them in the description. Please put them in the comment section below the description, below the video. And thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.
Contract failed. Objective lost. UAV overhead.